What's up, gang? I think it's my fault. For real. What's up, keep the rest. Hey, I got that check-in to go. I'm gone. A lot of these look lost. They broke. They think it's my fault. No car. I want that car. I'm dripping. I'm stuck with the sauce. Good drip. But she love you. Don't cut your. Reynolds Da Vinci is white. Limited Louis, that's light. Rape in the city, that's light. LED, look at the lights. We the ones don't like. But you look too light. Why even play with your life? Bank account looking like yikes. I went from filling out kites to putting it in my block. Blue Gucci sweater is drill. Somebody give me a. These ain't like the cops.
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden Night.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Today we jump right into this new season with an AFC South matchup between the London Monarchs and the Houston Texans. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here's Ronald Jones, first carry for the USC man. And it'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Something to watch here in week 1 of the season, tackling. Because you and I both know that in the preseason, a lot of these guys don't play a whole lot. Plus, the intensity and the speed really ratchets up on opening week.
On 2nd down, it's Jones. And right away, he lost the football. And the Texans scoop it. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. Now a handoff looking right. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
I will see more of them trying to get him the football out of the backfield. They love what he can do in open space, and they believe that he creates mismatches they can exploit.
So they recovered the fumble, but ultimately could not take advantage of the short field.
Definitely a lost opportunity right there. I mean, they were in prime position to put 6 on the board. Ended up settling for 3.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And now back out comes the offense. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach would be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield and punch in the end zone without turning it over.
Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. Back to the ground, this time with Jones. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Pulled in at the 24. Big-time return there, 40 yards. And the Texans with great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. And on the ground they go with a running back. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Give them 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And the 3rd down pass falls incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. So scores on their first 2 possessions, but 6-0, so field goal is probably not what they were hoping for.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that. Not what they were hoping for, but they should be happy that they have points on the board. It almost feels like that old slow and steady wins the race, doesn't it? In this case, though, they want to be slow and steady now, but get explosive later and put the points up on the board.
Now this offense ready to head back out there. And it's been a rocky start for them thus far. They had the turnover and then the punt on those first 2 drives.
So there is optimism because they've improved, right? The turnover, you just noted it.
Punt's better than the turnover.
The punt is better on the second one. Now they're hoping to turn it into 1st downs and hopefully points.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. He takes this from the 30 to the 34.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
And now Mayfield on the bootleg. The open man is Shark. It's complete. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another 1st down.
And the key number on that play, 3. 3rd play of the drive, 3rd down, spectacular catch, turns into a 1st down.
1st down saves them from a 3-and-out. Fournette, a 1st down carry. And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47.
Inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
All right, here we go.
A give to Jones. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, it's working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And the lane closes up quickly as he'll get about 3 down to the 38.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
And that's going to be incomplete.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
They'll go again from the 3 here on 2nd and goal. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. And it's caught. Touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And his guys are an extra point away now from taking the lead. And down near the goal line here, they're able to throw it in.
And the key word, quick. Quick hitter. Out of his hands fast, into the receiver's hands even faster.
Boswell good with the extra point. And they take the lead here at 7-6. This will be taken in at the 1. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. It's been an awfully slow start for them. This is their 3rd possession. They don't have a 1st down yet.
Some means they have to change up what they're doing, and for some teams, it's a change in tempo, usually moving it to more up-tempo type of an offense just to try and change their fortunes right now. What they've been doing so far isn't working. Maybe they'll do that. They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of 1st downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
And he powers his way up past the 30. Up from the secondary to make the tackle, Jalen Ramsey. Watson on 3rd down. Throwing for his running back, and he's got it complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 16 yards on that one, and also a Texan 1st down. He missed on his first 3 passes, was 0 for 3. Now gets a connection. Maybe that'll get him going.
Yeah, it wasn't a time for panic, but there was some concern because once you start in a certain pattern, you're wondering, can you get out of it? And that flips the other way, too, when you're throwing it really well. In this case, now he's got his 1st and goal.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Richmond.
Watson on 1st down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he'll be taken down at the 33, a pickup of about 4.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
To throw on 3rd down, Watson. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50 seem easy for some reason. Look at DJ Chark as he and the rest of the offense head back out. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? Second quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us, but sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better, got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Throwing, Mayfield. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender is making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. This is taken at about the 14. What a spin. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. And the Texans set to come onto the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
To throw on second is Watson. And his throw is incomplete. The Texans on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Now they'll run it on the toss. And, a little spin cycle. Room to run now. And he has the first down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
3rd and 1, partner. No need to be fancy there. Just use some force and move forward and pick up the first down.
So after 2 first downs, they get another here. 1st and 10 at the 45. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And incomplete on the deep ball. Big O.J. Howard, his intended target. And now it's 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
Well, that play was over before it even got started. Thanks for nothing, huh? How about that? That sets up a very difficult 3rd down call now.
The Texans on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 11. A shotgun snap for Watson. He's going to look deep down in a double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jalen Ramsey. And a great return as he's up close to the 40-yard line.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And he'll take this up over the 40 to about the 41. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a 1st down. But you said it earlier in the quarter when we saw a broken tackle then that we might see some missed tackles here early on in week 1, and that's another one right there.
Yeah, not a surprise at all. It will even out as the season extends because everyone will get used to the play speed. But right now, here in the early season, the advantage definitely goes to the offense.
And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. It'll be a gain of 6, and that'll make this a 2nd down. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4.
Now let's go. 3-19. 3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Mayfield from the gun on 3rd down. And that is incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
That's running out of steam, and it won't get there. He left it just short, no good, and this score will stay right where it is.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it, and this one winds up no good.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And lucky to get away with one there. That one nearly picked. 2nd down. Pretty fortunate there. The interception that ended the last drive, and then boom, the first pass here almost picked on this drive.
Yeah, I think you could definitely call into question his decision-making here in the first half.
Certainly not the best of decisions there. Lucky that one wasn't picked. On 2nd and 10, Watson. And this will be incomplete.
I would say it'd probably be a good idea for him to reintroduce himself to his receivers at the half because they're definitely on different wavelengths. But I also don't advocate waiting that long. Next series before you get out there. Hey, let's get together, guys. Let's get this thing moving.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Derwin James with a pick. And they will finally get him down as he's all the way to the 36-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Here we go. Green 39.
Now a 1st down carry by Jones. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. That good for 22 and a 1st down.
Coming in, he really liked his chance of having a big year based on a terrific offseason. And runs like that on opening weekend show that he's right.
Here we go now. Blue 90.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And effective running here. He'll take it down inside the 10. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
The give is to Jones. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. We're back to Houston after this timeout. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. Working out of the gun, Mayfield. And it'll be intercepted. Snags it for the pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
And that is incomplete.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. Again from the 20 after the incompletion. Here's 2nd and 10. Throwing again is Watson. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they had incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Now Watson. Hard throw, incomplete. I don't know. He had to be pretty quick with his fingers to start and stop after the ball hit the ground. I'm giving him some credit.
Well, I'm thinking about the mental focus, you know? Yeah. The mental focus.
Yeah, that's true.
Got to stay with it.
That's true. Fielded just inside the 30. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. And here now the offense heading back out there. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we've got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? It's a 6-yard gain. Make it 2nd and 4. Mayfield looks to throw toward the sideline. He will have the first down. Good catch. He was able to keep the feet in bounds. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down. Mayfield on first down. And incomplete there, almost picked off. That's one you maybe expect your roaming free safety to come up with, but it's 2nd down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch.
Here we go now. 3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this one down near the 15. Now before this 2nd down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
2nd down, Mayfield. Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
Well, touch and time are critical for those. Zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
So the failure to connect on set. Here's Mayfield. That is caught inside the 5. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. 2 of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. Mayfield to throw it over the middle, and it's incomplete. Trying to get it there to D.D. Westbrook, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. And it's caught. Touchdown. DJ Chark from 4 yards out. And his guys are able to strike for 6.
And while that touchdown does not give them an insurmountable lead, it's still a lead, and that always feels good to a team.
They'd love to take that into the lockers, but a little time left on that clock, so some work to do.
I like that. I like how you're guarding against a letdown there.
Already looking forward.
Coaching them up from right up here in the booth.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. "15 seconds, all that remains for this first half as they come up 1st and 10. On 1st down, it's Watson. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left. Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Watson. Looking left sideline. It's complete. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 58-yard attempt. Get there, not enough. All right, we will save the Week 1 highlights and apparently get right back to the action here in the 3rd. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. We'll see if Week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
2nd and 1, if people want to run the football, this is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
Right back to him on 1st down. And a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
Here's Watson now on 2nd down. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Watson to throw on 3rd and 1. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a 1st down. 7 yards there. Good enough to move the sticks.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a 1st down.
And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there. And the big guy catches the ball out of the backfield, and oftentimes that's quite a surprise to the guys playing defense because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher, it often works when they decide to dial it up.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
Now it's Watson. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
Tiger, tiger, tiger.
From the gun on 3rd, Watson. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. Just a 1-yard pickup on the play, and it'll be 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
It can be a thankless job sometimes to be a kicker, but they're thanking him right now. That's now 4 field goals. He's kept him in the game.
He sure has, and that offense has got to find its rhythm because I'm not sure that just kicking field goals is going to allow them to win this game.
A first down throw for Mayfield. A dump underneath to Jones. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield. But plain and simple, that's the 2nd time today that he's dropped a pass.
And that one, I think, maybe even a little easier than the earlier one that he dropped. Surprising.
And was this game announced as a night game prior to, and maybe his rhythm is just off? He's got thrown off. He's got to wake up, enjoy the sunshine, and go play.
And he'll take this one for about 4 up to the 40.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
All right, here we go. Green, 39. Green.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. Open man right side is Sharp. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job here of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. And the numbers show the improvement, and this is kind of what we thought we would expect to see from him. I know we overanalyze these things sometimes, but what switch? What flipped that switch?
Sometimes I think when you're as great as he is, you just kind of roll out each game and expect good things to happen. And that's not always the case. Those guys on the other side of the ball, they're the NFL 2 for a reason. So maybe at halftime he gets a chance to regroup, kind of get it back together, get a little extra resolve, and now he's putting it into practice.
Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Hopkins. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. Watson now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Now they try the right side here. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 16 yards on that one, and also a Texan first down.
Well, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Tackle that time by Ronnie Harrison.
They went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
Yeah, once more, strong running. Excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
On first down, Watson. Man open, that's Kiki QT, complete. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
To throw is Watson. Now the ball comes loose, and it'll be a turnover. This is going the other way. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
And he's going to lose yardage here back at the 8. So a loss of 5, and it'll be second down.
Yeah, and that was a safety that came through and made the play. But there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker. And we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss.
Green 39! Green 39!
Back now in Houston. Again, it's Jones. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. We'll see. That'll make it fourth down after a loss of 1. So they bring out their punter as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. That's pulled in at the 32. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now out comes Houston. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing, that's difficult for a team to handle.
Yeah, difficult, and now we'll see if they can make it less difficult on themselves on this drive. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
Well, NFL quarterbacks have learned the hard way. You're not going to get rich throwing against this guy. He's definitely too good. And this is now his second interception of the ball game. And if I'm running the offense, I've got to tell my guys, you've got to go work on the other corner.
Here we go now. Green, 39. Green.
They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, this is by Thema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
Toward the sideline, and he will have the first down as he was able to keep the feet in bounds. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on third down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively, a backbreaker. They'll get 3 up to midfield. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
And his throw is going to be incomplete.
Well, so many times defensive backs get caught playing the man rather than the football, but not in this case. That's an excellent play. Did exactly what you're supposed to do. Attack the football and help break up the pass.
And, yep, as a result, knocks it down. Mayfield now from the 50. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
It's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. They bring their punter out there now. They'll boot it away from about his 35. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
See, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, 4th quarter. Maybe you do start to watch as the arm there, the leg's still there. This has been a tough game. Back to the air. Watson on 2nd down. Hopkins on the grab over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another first. Just week 1, but already plenty of intrigue with the games going on, and this one no different as we come up on a 1st and 10. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. It'll be a gain of 4, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have the center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
Well, it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, second down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Back to throw, Watson. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And incomplete here on 3rd down.
Too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass.
Richmond.
Desperation time. Watson on 4th down. That's going to be caught. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. In for the score. And the Texans have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter. Wow, talk about a big 4th down conversion for the score. Defensively, how do you let that happen?
I think you start with the offense, and you give them credit for going for it, having that type of, well, let's face it, audacity. But defensively, I think you're right on target, partner. There's no way something like that's supposed to happen in that situation. You're supposed to be able to shut that down and get the ball back for your own team. Instead, they give up not just a big play, but a touchdown.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Now this offense about ready to take over again. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
A gain of 6 there on 1st.
What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you got to run fast. Of course, you got to catch the ball. But route running savvy and toughness, there's a premium for all of that now.
Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. So it's our visitors with a football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. He's back to throw. Drops it to Jones in the flat. He'll get a couple yards on that one, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
He'll look to throw. And nearly intercepted there. That would have been ball game if he had clinched it and caught it. Instead, it gives him one more chance here on 4th down. Figuring they're going for it on 4th down. Remember, though, they do have all 3 timeouts, so even if they don't get it, all is not lost.
Yeah, normally in this situation, when you're talking about having to go for it, everything is in this play. But as you noted, with those 3 timeouts, they actually have a little bit of a safety net.
Back to throw. And no, it's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Texans take over an excellent field position. Well, they were looking for a clutch play there on 4th, unable to come up with it.
How about that defense, though, huh? How about that D?
Yeah, momentum swing.
And, you know, I remember playing how much 4th downs were emphasized. You know, because, as you said, it's a momentum play. It's also a big test for you. You know, if people are going to go for it on 4th down, They believe you're not up to the challenge. You want to show them differently.
Have to imagine this will be on the ground as well as they come up 2nd and 7. And they'll go on the ground. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Now a second timeout called for by the defense, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. Watson. And almost intercepted. That would have been his 3rd pick in this game alone. Instead, 4th down.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know, there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
So yet another field goal to end a drive. That has been a very common theme. He's now hit 5 of them in this game.
Yeah, Brandon, as an offense, you hate that you've had to call on your kicker so often, but you have to love the fact that time and time again, he's come through.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Baker Mayfield leads the offense out for their next possession. This is something we've seen many times over the course of his career. Can he pull off another 4th quarter comeback?
And it's very strange, isn't it? Because when it's a player of this magnitude, even though the guys on defense have the lead and are sitting in the best spot, they're maybe the most nervous people in the stadium because they've seen this happen to too many people before, too many teams. They've got to find a way to shut him down.
Here we go again for the grizzled vet.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
Back to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off near the 29. And they will score a pick 6 for the Texans TD. That's about as tough as they come. You're driving to try to put the ball in the end zone and tie the game, and that happens.
It's exciting for us, wasn't it? Because we were thinking, hey, we might be headed towards overtime. Instead, it looks like this one may very well be done. And guess what? If you're a fantasy owner and you have that defense, you just had a big, big game, didn't you?
Extra point attempt here still to come. The extra point up and good. And the lead is up to 15 now. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. So out now comes the offense back onto the field.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Back to it after the pick 6. Mayfield. He sets up the screen to Jones. Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. 7 yards there on the first down screen play.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Throwing. Mayfield. He completes it right side away. And he'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 14 yards that time for number 14. Mayfield on first down. Wide open receiver complete. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. That one goes for 24 yards. And with just over 40 seconds now remaining, he gets up and spikes it. Going to the air again with Mayfield. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Miles. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. And the spike comes here, and that stops the clock at 25 seconds.
That's not good. Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
They'll throw again. Here's Mayfield. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. It'll be a pickup of only a yard, and that's going to bring up a third down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Mayfield with it once more. And this is caught, so it's a late touchdown, but maybe too late. Still a little time left on the clock, however. Okay, so they got the score. Do you go for one here and save the possible two-point conversion for later?
I think you do, because if you go for two here and you don't get it, that's deflation.
Yeah.
Now you're wondering why you're even going for it. Take the easy one now and come back and try and get it later.
Extra point put through by Boswell as this gets him back within a touchdown and a two-point conversion. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. Fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number, kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Trailing in the fourth, this close of a game, that's a penalty you just can't afford.
It's an absolute killer, and it's one that drives coaches and teammates insane.
Oh, now look at this. They're lining up to add three more, little insult to injury here late in the game. And his kick here is good. And that will bump the lead up to 11. Well, it's hard to put your finger on whether this is something to celebrate or something maybe the offense is embarrassed by, but that's now 6 field goals he's made in this game alone.
Yeah, he's bailed him out quite a bit so far, but it's very comforting to know that you have a kicker that's got your back.
And that one will go down in the books as just a one-play drive and then 3 points tacked on to the end of it. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1.